I will not speak for West Africa. I can speak for Nigeria because I know efforts have been made.
Well, Nigeria is in West Africa.
Good. So, you know, the latest report gave us in 2024 we had the least number of attacks. Within the country, things are really improving. Yes, we still have isolated issues, one off. But like I can tell you, the troops are really putting in their best. And like I said, when we have issues of poverty in West Africa, a lot of issues with governance, challenges with Niger, Chad, Chad, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, they are taking a lot of heat. And that is because, one, the areas are large, there's a lot of poverty within those areas. Climate change is one major issue on the ground, and lack of political will is causing these issues, and those are the things trying to pour into Nigeria. And so whatever efforts we are making, as long as these things are there, it's going to be a challenge. And that's why the federal government is moving up to make sure that we have a very wonderful border management system, because we have to protect our borders. If you notice, most of these guys coming with this flow into Nigeria from outside, and that's why it's critical. And that's why for us, the 3 countries that have gone, we are still militarily discussing with them. Just recently, we have their DDR teams, disarmament team, visiting Nigeria. They were here for about a week.
But they didn't attend your recent meeting.
No, that was the recent meeting was for the chiefs of defense staff. They actually didn't attend, but on our own part, because they feel politically they felt they should stay away.
But they had no place.
They had no place. Yes, right. Yes. But as it is, for us as the military, we still do a lot of training together. We still have their men in our training schools here in Nigeria to tell you how we still work together. So we don't have such issues. But the truth about it is that, especially for these 3 countries, it's important that they get their leadership right, and then they're able to do a lot. That will also, and that's why for us in Nigeria, we have more to lose if they don't get it right. And that's why whatever it takes, politically, military, we need to partner with them to ensure that they're.
When you say get their leadership right, what do you mean?
Democracy. They must have a democratic system that will be able to assist them into taking decisions that will help the country. If they don't do that, it's going to create more issues for them, more problems, and these are the things that exacerbating these issues on ground. So those are things I think they need to really look at.
Indeed. Now, let's return specifically to Nigeria and what the report says about this country. Beyond sort of the bits and pieces and the parts and so on, is the country faring better or worse when it comes to terrorism? Because even the report itself seems to suggest that there has been something like a 38% decrease in incidents of terrorism.
Yeah, I mean, more than that, I think, because, I mean, if you move around the country, you see that a lot of things have improved. Farmers are going back to their farms. Things are happening here and there. There's a lot of peace really coming around. So we look at it from their report. Sometimes, well, I don't want to argue on how they come about their indices, but what I can say is that Nigerians also know that things are really improving. We all need to join hands together to continue to do. And remember, I've always said it, it's not always everybody that is really happy that things are getting, because if you notice how we get, most times when we're succeeding, that's why we have this pushback. And the question is why?
Brothers and sisters, you have seen the video for yourself. Sometimes all you have to do is just to laugh about issues, especially when you see stupid men. Do we call him stupid? He's an old guy. We give him his respect just for being old. But on this one, we do not respect you, say Chief General Musa. I sometimes it's just hard to understand some of these leaders or some of these people who are put in place in our African, leadership positions. This guy says if the AES doesn't go back to democracy, Nigeria is in trouble. If the AES doesn't get things right in regards to democracy and their leadership.
He started by the leadership. Then he went to, until this report was like, leadership? If they don't get their leadership right. And this reporter was like, no, he's saying leadership, but we don't have a good leadership. What do you mean? So this guy says democracy, and you are like, oh, you are a puppet of the Western democracy. Because the problem is our people believe we can only be a country with a Western type of democracy. They don't think, like Ibrahim Traore, he was voted democratically by the people. They wanted him to stay there for 10 years. But they said, let's first go for 5 years.
No, but for this guy, he says that is not democratic.
Yeah, because he wants the Western democracy.
And the problem that we have with Nigeria is that they see themselves as the superpower just because the West says they are backing. Superpower of West Africa, that is. This guy says if these people don't go back, their people will start flooding into our countries and start, giving us a lot of problems. When you have a lot of refugees and a lot of these guys seeking refuge in your home, it becomes a big problem for you. So what he sees is the future of the AES crumbled, with people running away, displacement everywhere, He sees terrorism on the rise.
Bringing poverty to Nigeria.
He sees Nigeria in trouble now, having to see how they now feed these people, and they're also suffering with their own Nigerian citizens. Now, where will these guys fit in? So he says we need to hurry up and let these guys go back to democracy. Otherwise, we will be in trouble as Nigeria. AES, let us just talk about the AES for a minute. In the last 2 years since they started fighting terrorism, the kind of equipment that they bought with their own money without anybody's loan, Nigeria cannot afford. Yeah. Just from Burkina Faso, equipment from Burkina Faso alone. What about all three together? If we talk about fighting, these guys have finished everything that is called terrorism in their countries. These guys are even, ECOWAS is even asking them to come and help them to fight terrorism, because they can see that these are so powerful. These guys have become so powerful, they can help us fight the issue of terrorism within the ECOWAS kind of group. And for this guy's a general, he needs to understand these issues better when it comes to security.
These people are like puppets. They only follow what is being said. For example, he started by talking about climate change. So where is climate change coming? They say climate change will lead to poverty. And climate change is something that is being said. Maybe there's climate change, but it's only as a result of what we are doing. Like for them in Nigeria, they have a lot of oil, right? If they don't dispose of excess oil in the Niger Delta and all that, a lot of trees will die. A lot of fish will die. It's the same thing. If you cut trees, you create a desert. If you plant trees, you create a microclimate from that forest. So he's talking about climate change.
No, even without climate change, let's just go to Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, we've been told for many years that their soils are not rich enough for farming, for growing crops. Yeah. Last year,
they planted
the yields that these guys harvested.
Wheat.
Right now, Traore created a tomato processing plant because they have excess tomatoes. They are now processing their own tomatoes. It's not even to do with climate change. It's a permanent situation that we are told the Sahel cannot grow its own food. They need to get food from elsewhere. Yeah. But Traore has proven us that it's possible to do these things even with the situation that these guys keep on telling us they are in.
It's crazy. And I think the people who need to get their leadership right is Nigeria. Because
Nigerians will start flooding into the AES if these guys don't get their leadership right.
In the voice of Tinubu, we need to get the leadership right so that it does not become a problem.
There's a speech where you were saying we are hungry, but we are used to our hunger. You remember that one?
Yeah.
But we are used to our hunger.
We may be hungry, but we can manage our hunger.
And this one is talking about poverty in other countries. And people coming to Nigeria to seek refuge and to eat their food when they are the ones in the big problem. And that is where we are failing, because you don't see the problem in your country. And how do you fight the corrupt system? Country will have corrupt talk. I don't think this guy is on TikTok. With corrupt talk, these things are being exposed. He could have known that Nigeria is actually the baddest of them all.
The worst.
Tinubu is trending everywhere with proper leadership. And it's time for Nigerians to talk about it. And I'm glad that young people are exposing it. As much as some will say just talking about things on social media will not help, I don't know what. It will get to a point where these people will do things right, or either go out, because everybody will know that you are just useless and not helping our country. So what are you doing in such a big position? And that is where we are as the Africans.
Yeah, guys, let us know what you think in the comment section. If you'd like to support us, we have Buy Me a Coffee link in the description and on your screen. If you'd like to support us through the YouTube ways, we have super chats and super thanks. Also, like this video and share so that we can reach more people. And if you have not joined our family by subscribing, please do. We see you in the next one. Bye.